Good evening. I'm Jerry Britton, host of this edition of Cats Clinics. And tonight we have with us Rodney Black, the publisher of the Cats software. And we're going to do two sessions this evening, one on customizing the startup of Cats and the other on customizing tables. So with that, Rodney, I'll turn it over to you and you can take control. Thank you.
Okay, so let's talk about how to customize tables. The tables that Cats has, there really are only three tables. There's trains, there's jobs, and there's crew. And I don't think anybody uses jobs, but maybe Pat, and I doubt very many people use crew either. But anyway, so we'll just focus on the train tables. Okay, let's start with a little bit of a digression here. Let's go to appearance and colors. If you haven't seen these, you got a whole bunch of colors, and there's stuff in here. I don't remember if this is in the distributions or not. But anyway, you got a whole bunch of colors. If you want to change any color, for example, we want to change that one, just click on it. You get a window that looks like that. You can, pick the color you want. And if you don't see enough in there, you can do that. And you can get even more colors, finer, and you can do that, and you can do that, and you can do that. So that gives you, there's a lot of colors you can pick from here. So, and those are the names of colors. The other thing you can do is from appearance, you can do fonts. And this is where the table stuff comes in with fonts. The default is just, if I remember right, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the top 6. I've added East and West. I didn't show you, but you could add another color. I can add another font. Okay. And let's just call it, say, something like passenger. And we'll make it, what color would you like? We'll go down here. Let's do a green, something like that. And we will make it a large font. We'll make it like a 16. And we can make it bold, italic. You can just change the stuff. So I've created a new font. Okay, now, so then we go. This is, again, I'm looking at Designer. I'm not looking at Cats right here. I know they look a lot alike, but I'm looking at Designer. Designer has edit train fields right there. You click on that. And the thing I want to do next is, if I can show you here, I'm going to bring up Cats so we can compare the two. Let's bring this back up. So what I'm doing here today, I'm trying to keep this from getting confusion. Okay, I'm going to edit the lineup, and I'm going to bring this. I'm going to bring it down to here. I'm going to bring this back. Okay. The top one, this is Designer again. And what it does is, the way to think about this is that each of these rows here corresponds to a column here. Now why is this kind of funky like this? Well, it's the same code. And I was kind of lazy, and I was able to reuse all this stuff. So if we look at the stuff that goes into the table, this check mark says whether this column will be, as a column, if it will be visible or not. So auto terminate. Okay, I've got label background. Right there it is. I don't have auto terminate. You don't see a column named auto terminate. I got train label. I got name, symbol, engine. Train, name, symbol, engine. No transponding caboose. I got the crew, and so forth. So in other words, you can select which columns you want in the format pane by checking or not checking this. The next thing you'll notice is here's the name of the label. So this is the column label. Notice that label background is all uppercase. There's label background. Train label, I've made it lowercase so it looks prettier. Okay, so you can change the heading on the columns. These are mandatory. I can add more and we'll show you that in a few minutes, but these are, you cannot delete these. If I select one, it won't actually, shouldn't let me delete it. Did it? I don't, well, it wasn't supposed to. Let's see if it's back. Yeah, I don't think it let me delete it. Anyway, okay. So there's the label, and I can edit these things. So let's turn off, say, train label. That's probably something you don't want your crew to be editing. So we'll accept that. And we will go down here and we need to save the file. And you get rid of cats because I need to reload the whole thing. Oops. Cancel that. Now I need to exit cats. You want to exit in the session? Yes. Okay, let's bring up our tried and true. There it is. And we'll go to trains. And let's edit the lineup. Okay. And what was it? I couldn't train. I think it was the train name I couldn't change.
I believe it was a symbol.
Was it the symbol? Yeah. Oh, okay. There we go. Symbol. So for example, let me pull that back up. Well, that and I can change. Well, it's letting me edit it. Okay, let's look at it again. See which one I turn the edit off of. Train label. Okay. I'm doing something wrong. I'm not sure what it is, but well, okay. Let's see if we'll accept it.
I'm not sure what train label actually is though, because the train name is editable and the symbol is editable. So what was meant by train label? It's only a Boolean anyway. So maybe
yeah.
not.
What does it mean? Okay. Let me give you an example from around here. Amtrak comes through Denver. And there is there are two California Zephyrs. There's an eastbound and a westbound. The westbound is train number 5. The eastbound is train number 6. So what that means is in the name, you might put California Zephyr, and you'd have 2 of them. So the symbol would be number 5 for the westbound, and the symbol would be 6 for the eastbound. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but
It does, but that's not my question. So
yeah.
I think maybe the actual field that's entitled train label, which is your second column on the edit lineup, is simply a Boolean that you can either check or not. And it is neither the symbol, which would be 5 and 6 for the Amtrak, nor is it the name, which would be the westbound California Zephyr or the eastbound California Zephyr. So just to check that theory, you could see if you've disabled the editing of the train label, you should be unable to check that box or uncheck that box.
You're absolutely right. Yes, I'm clicking on it and I can't change it. However, notice that the label background is editable and I can change it. You're absolutely right.
Once in a while, a blind hog even roots up an acorn.
Okay, so then you can set the width of the columns, and the alignment. You can do center, left, right, and then you can then you can, the classes, what do you want this thing to be? Do you want it to be a Boolean? Do you want it to be a string? Do you want it to be an integer? Stuff like that. So, for example, I can cancel that out. Let's go back to, I'm going to cancel this. We'll come back. Let me do some more editing of the tables. And go back to here and we will do train. And let's edit the fields again. And what I want to do is, no, that's not what I want. What I want to do is add a new train. So we'll edit the trains and make it a little bit longer. I don't know why I put that Boolean check mark in there. Okay, so we'll add a record. And there it is. Okay, and let's give the give it a name of Zephyr. Always remember to hit enter or tab, and we'll make this number 5. Okay, and furthermore, let's give it a font of so we'll play around with the fonts a little bit. In the font of passenger. Okay, now where this really shows up is in if you play with train stat. And it's okay. Let me bring this guy back up again. Oops, got to okay my configuration. Okay, and let's do train stat. Like this. And what I'm going to do now is I need to connect the two. I'm going to connect train stat to cats. And there's everything. And it looks very much like that. They look a lot alike. Okay, so if I do, and I think a second here, my templates, fonts. Okay, I'm not seeing what I'm looking for. I'm looking for is the passenger. Oh, I'm sorry. I got to do something else. Okay, to my templates, back at fonts, I can add West. Oops. And font emphasis, we'll make it plain font size and we'll give it a color. I don't know. That one maybe. Oops. I didn't do that. And we'll accept it. Okay, now, so what I've done is, and so what I have to do is I have to, in my templates, in my fonts here, I have to have the same template names as I do in, actually it's in cats. Appearance, fonts. Okay, so I need, see I got West here. I need a West here and they have to be spelled the same. And I put those into another file. So I'm going to cancel that. I'm going to kill off train stat. I don't want to save the changes. Actually, I didn't need to, but like I said, I'm kind of winging it here. Okay, so let's go back to train stat. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to load the file that has this one. And you can see now for example, the trains that were, we'll look at this. The trains that were westbound. I hit it, didn't I? I did. Wrong screen. Okay, the trains that were westbound. So let's go back over here to this one. So I hit them so that you can't let's see, you can't see the fonts. So basically, let's make them visible over here. It is visible. Okay. And it should be. There it is. Okay. So, for example, the West Hotshot had a font of West, which was a red. The East Hotshot had the East Hotshot had a font of East, which was a green. The West Pokey had a font of West. You can see that it's red, red, and green. So by playing with the fonts, you can make them distinctive, and you can, why would you want to do that? So if you're running something like TrainSet, then with at a glance, you can tell who's westbound, who's eastbound. You could categorize them by, say, passenger or freight. You could use different fonts. You could use, what we do on the Krandik is we actually have a computer running at, there are 2 classification yards, and there's a computer at each one, and each classification yard has is running TrainStat, and the fonts are set up such that on the files are different on the 2 computers, so that the trains that stop at one yard are highlighted for that yard, and the trains that stop at the other yard use a different font to hide them. So at a glance, the yard masters can see which trains are applicable to them, which are going to go passing them by. Okay, so let me a couple of things that are kind of interesting here. Then if we go back to train, let's add one. There it is. Actually, what I want to do is I want to add another field. I'm sorry. Like I say, I'm kind of winging it here. Train, edit train fields. Okay, and I can add another one down here. So if I want to make it something like I want to add a record, and we'll call it priority. And we will make it a, let's make it a Boolean checkbox. Okay, now, so then when I edit the trains, I've got priority, and you can check them. So you can modify this so that you can put the information on it that you think is important for your dispatcher, or if you've got a traffic manager or something like that to use. So you got checkbox and integers and stuff. Now these, the length, weight, and cars are tied directly into operations. That's why they have to be there. So operations will fill in these fields. As the train moves, it'll change the length, weight, and cars. Okay, that's kind of a little bit scattered here, but basically, that's what I've got on how to customize tables. Any questions?
Yeah, I don't have any at this time, Rodney. I mean, I think the TrainStat looks like a really cool feature. I'm just not there yet personally. So probably have questions when I get there.
Yep.
And eventually I think I've explained before to you, and perhaps some of the other people overheard it too. On my layout, which is in the 1950s, CATS is way too modern, of course, but it's a lot easier to use for the novice dispatcher.
Yes.
So I am going to do a USNS panel And then I'll give a guest operator the choice of which one they want to run, a modern panel or an era specific panel. But that said, I almost wish there was something equivalent to TrainStat that was just within JMRI for the USNS use. So.
Yep. Yeah, the other thing that's nice about TrainStat is that it's got the station and the time. And until I put in the button feature onto the train labels, sometimes those little strings are kind of hard to find, you know, on let me cancel that up here. If you don't have the let me position the train. There we go. So I'll put that one there. Sometimes those are kind of hard to find. But what you can do then is when TrainStat's hooked up, you can see 152 is in the yard. And so we run TrainStat on the same computer as we do CATS. And if you kind of, well, where's this train at? You can look in the station. It says, oh, he's in the yard right there. And he went to the yard at 7:03:12 my time. So that's really useful.
Yeah.
Okay, that's like I say, that's about all I got, except for more questions. I can turn it back over to you, Jerry.
All right. Any other questions out there? I think we'll wrap it up then. Rodney, I want to thank you for your time, not only in creating the software, but the excellent support you provide on it, and for being with us tonight. And I'll remind everybody that Rodney's going to be back with us in June when the new version of JMRI comes out. There will be a new release of CATS as well, and it's got a ton of features added. Rodney gave us a preview a couple months ago on one of our calls, and he mentioned earlier tonight that the code base has actually doubled in size because so much has been added. So there's some really cool stuff coming. So stay tuned.
That's exciting.
It is.
Thank you, Rodney.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Rodney.
Have a good evening, guys.
Thanks again, Rodney. Take care.
You too.
Thanks, Rodney.
Welcome.